What's up guys, my name is Ryan and I spent the last few years exploring Europe's capital cities and I want to show you my favorites. So here's my underrated capitals top 10. Europe's cities remain unmatched to the rest of the world. When most people think of Europe, they probably imagine Paris and the Eiffel Tower or Rome and its ancient ruins, but in this video I want to show you some of Europe's capitals that I consider to be hidden gems. From Malta's medieval city of Valletta to Kiev's jaw-dropping architecture, Europe's underrated capitals have so much to offer. Let's start this video off in the magical capital of Luxembourg City. Now the country of Luxembourg is one of the smallest in the world. It's nestled between Belgium, France, and Germany and has a population around 600,000. Luxembourg also has the highest GDP per capita in the world, which is pretty crazy. Now, the crowning feature of the country is its capital, Luxembourg City. Built among deep gorges cut out by surrounding rivers, the city is home to one of the most impressive medieval old towns. Now, what made this landscape so appealing is that it's surrounded by sheer cliffs that serve as a natural fortification against invading armies. Luxembourg's fortifications grew gradually and it became one of Europe's strongest fortresses. Sadly, in 1867, the Treaty of London required Luxembourg's fortress to be torn down so it could be a place of neutrality. Today, the fortress's ruins still remain. The best place to see them is the Bach Promontory, where you'll find the city's famed cliffs, underground tunnels, and fascinating history. Luxembourg is such a stunning capital. After Luxembourg, we're going to head over to the capital of Bratislava. Now located in Slovakia, right on the border between Austria and Hungary, Bratislava became Slovakia's capital after the Velvet Revolution, which split Czechoslovakia into two separate countries, making it one of Europe's younger capitals. Today, Bratislava has a population of 430,000 and it ranks as the third richest region in the European Union. One of the most prominent features of the capital is the Bratislava Castle. Located on an isolated hill right above the Danube River, the Bratislava Castle has been a symbol of the city since the Middle Ages. Construction of the castle began in the 9th century and it stood until it was tragically burned down by fire in 1811. Luckily, it was rebuilt in 1964 and it stands as one of Slovakia's greatest castles. The Bratislava Castle includes 4 towers, a courtyard, and a beautiful garden area, all surrounded by a fortified wall. It's just absolutely massive and it can be seen from all over the city. Now, to get one of the best views of the castle and all of Bratislava, you can visit the UFO bridge. It's a road bridge that goes over the Danube River and was constructed in 1972 and stands 278 feet high. On top, there's an observation deck and a restaurant that offers the best views of the city. After Slovakia, we're going to head over to Malta to visit Valletta. Now, located in the southeastern region on the main island of Malta, Valletta is a sight to see. With only an area of 0.61 square kilometers, it's the European Union's smallest capital city. Valletta was established back in 1566 after the Knights of Malta defeated the Ottomans who attempted to conquer Malta in the Great Siege. In 1798, the French invaded the island, but the Maltese revolted and the island ended up under British rule in September of 1800. During World War II, Valletta received a lot of destruction due to the German and Italian air raids, which destroyed significant buildings such as the Royal Opera House. Today, the architecture of Valletta is absolutely stunning. It's the perfect mixture of Baroque and modern architecture. I just love how the whole city is dominated by 10 medieval buildings. If you visit the city, you can check out the saluting battery. At noon, a cannon is fired. Pretty cool if you ask me. Valletta just has so much beauty and history and I hope you all can witness it in person. After Valletta, we're going to head over to Latvia to visit Riga. Now, I have to say that I was very surprised by Riga's beauty. It's full of stunning medieval architecture. Riga was founded back in 1201 and today it's the largest city of all the Baltic countries. One of the most famous buildings is the House of the Blackheads. It's located in Riga's old town and was built in the 14th century. St. Peter's Church is another dramatic building that towers over Riga's skylines. Riga is just such a special and underrated city and I hope all can visit. After, let's head over to Poland to visit Warsaw. Located on the Vistula River in east central Poland, Warsaw is the capital and largest city in the country. Warsaw began to grow in the 16th century and was called the Paris of the North, but Warsaw was damaged extensively during World War II with 85% of its buildings in ruins. Today, it's a bustling capital with a population of 1.8 million. One of my favorite buildings is the Palace of Culture and Science. At 778 feet tall, it's the 5th tallest building in the EU. You want to see some medieval vibes, you can check out Warsaw's Old Town. It was established in the 13th century and is full of history and medieval architecture. After Poland, we're going to head back to the Baltics to visit Lithuania's capital of Vilnius. Unlike other Baltic capitals of Tallinn and Riga, Vilnius is located inland near its eastern border. Before World War II, Vilnius was one of the largest Jewish centers in the world. Napoleon called it the Jerusalem of the North. I'm just blown away by the beauty of the city and its perfect mixture of modern and Baroque architecture. You can drive 30 minutes outside the city and visit the Trakai Island Castle. It's this uniquely designed castle that's on a little island in Lake Gulf. Such a cool little spot outside the city. After Lithuania, we're going to head over to Croatia to visit Zagreb. Now, located in northwestern Croatia, Zagreb is the country's largest city with a population of over 1 million. Zagreb is a city full of history that dates back to the Roman times. One of the most popular attractions in the capital is the Cathedral of Zagreb. It's not only the tallest building in Croatia, but it's also the most monumental sacred building in Gothic style southeast of the Alps. The cathedral was completed in 1217 and sadly it was destroyed in 1242 by the Mongols, but it was rebuilt a few years later. The two spires reach a height of 354 feet. It's just crazy to think that it was constructed nearly 800 years ago. Zagreb is just such a beautiful capital to visit. After Croatia, we're going to head over to Belgium to visit Brussels. Now, located in the heart of the country, Brussels is the most densely populated region with a population of 1.2 million. After World War II, Brussels became a major center for international politics. It is the de facto capital of the European Union. I went to Brussels many years ago and its impression has left a mark on me. One of my favorite places was the Grand Place. It's the center square of the city and I just remember being blown away by the immaculate buildings and all the cobblestone. The square is considered to be one of the most beautiful in all of Europe and I totally understand why. While you're there, you can treat yourself to a Belgian waffle or make the short walk to the famous statue of Mannequin Peace. Now, a really interesting attraction is the Atomium Landmark Building. It was built in 1958 for the Brussels World Fair, and there's a restaurant with an incredible panoramic view on top. After Belgium, we're going to head over to Bosnia and Herzegovina to visit the capital of Sarajevo. Nestled in a valley surrounded by the Dinaric Alps, Sarajevo is the country's largest city with a population around 300,000. It's considered to be the prominent center of culture in the Balkans, and due to its long history and religious and cultural diversity, it's sometimes referred to as the Jerusalem of Europe. The capital is full of crazy history. The city began in the 15th century as an Ottoman stronghold. In 1914, Archduke Franz Ferdinand was assassinated here, which sparked World War II. In 1984, Sarajevo hosted the Winter Olympics and the city was thriving, but from 1992 to 1996, the city suffered the longest siege of a capital city in the history of modern warfare during the Bosnian War. I just can't imagine what that must have been like. Aside from its history, I find Sarajevo to be such an intriguing place. From the melting pot of religions to the surrounding Alps, Sarajevo is an undiscovered gem that deserves a visit. After, we're going to head over to Ukraine to visit Kiev. Located in north-central Ukraine along the Dnieper River, Kiev is one of the oldest cities in Eastern Europe and is believed to be founded around the 5th century as a Slavic settlement that grew as it was positioned on the trade route between Scandinavia and Constantinople. At the beginning of the 12th century, it grew to be one of the largest cities in the world with a population exceeding 100,000. Today, Kiev is an important cultural, scientific, and industrial center of Eastern Europe. I'm amazed by how beautiful the city is, especially during the summertime. One of the most famous places in the city is the Kiev Monastery of the Caves. It's an Orthodox Christian monastery, and it began as a cave monastery in the year of 1051 AD. Today, it's an active monastery with over 100 monks, and it's named one of the 7 wonders of Ukraine. Right next to the monastery is the Motherland Monument. It's a 203-foot tall stainless steel statue that was completed in 1981 to celebrate the Soviet victory over Nazi Germany. Kiev is such a spectacular place, and I hope y'all can visit one day. Well, that is it for my European capitals top 10. There are a few more capitals that I left out, so maybe I'll have to make a video that includes all of them. Let me know where your favorite capital in Europe is. If you want to feel relaxed, I started a relaxation channel where I post hour-long videos of places such as Switzerland and Scotland with calming music that can bring some peace and nature in your life. I just upload a relaxation film from Madeira that you'll have to check out. You can find me on Instagram and TikTok at shirley.films. Anyways, it's Ryan, and we will see you later.
That you and I are working here today is evidence of that.